Okay.
Okay, I see every class.
Mm-hmm. Take your time, like it takes, take a couple of minutes to just familiarize yourself with the data that we have on our hands.
Mhm. Oh, it's time. 1 second. This one is ending. Yeah. One class, two class, three class. This one is classes. What is that? I can delete this one.
What's that?
Can I delete this one?
Yeah, please.
So this is classes, this is teachers.
Yep.
Okay. Name. Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is just different teachers.
Mm-hmm.
English. Our student.
Can you please repeat the question? Which class has the minimum amount of the students you said, or?
Not the minimum amount, but like the smallest amount. So we want to identify the least popular class among students. Does that make sense? Because
This
the students are allowed to pick their classes voluntarily, right? So we want to identify which class is the least popular among students.
okay.
Mhm.
Students, then goes after students to subjects. Then
Is the question clear, guys, for everyone?
yes,
Okay.
yes. It's object of classes. This is how we reach the classes.
Right.
Okay.
I'll be right back 1 second.
We have only 1, 2, 3, only 3 students. So the answer should be as history, English 2 times. Times. History 2 times. They're actually equal.
What's that?
They're actually all equal, right?
They're what?
Equal.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, we have only 3 students here.
Mm-hmm.
We have only 3 students. Inside of 3 students, we see subjects. If you check subject, I see that each of is repeating only like 2 times.
Right.
One or two.
1 second. I think I have shared a wrong student array. 1 second. Let me see. Yep, sorry about that. Let me, I'm gonna delete the old students array and you guys do the same. And I will share a new one. So please check your Slack channel. I think the teacher's array is also old. Sorry, because initially I was gonna do something like a bit more simple, and then I thought, okay, this is too easy. And then I modified the arrays. So let me reshare them.
So I like Dana White.
And I'm sharing a new
No, no way.
teacher's array.
Do you know who is Dana White?
I think it's like an actress or something, right?
No, it's like a CEO of UFC. It's like MMA fighting
Oh,
club.
really? I had no idea.
Teacher is also new, okay.
So I think we're good. I think the array is updated. So yeah, sorry, I got confused. So we have our teachers, we have students with different subjects. Let me delete the previous one so you guys don't get confused. I'm gonna delete the previous teachers array as well. And I think the classes are fine. Could you guys also check the classes? We have math, English, history, science, art. Yeah, I think the classes array is fine, should be fine.
7 classes. Okay. Okay, let's go then. So since I have the array of students, and students, I have subjects.
Right.
Can I use the built-in function? Okay, inside of subjects, I have numbers, and then my idea is to compare which these numbers, how many times they are repeating. Like I want to create the new object and put each of them.
Okay, so you mean subject IDs, right? I was
Yeah.
like, numbers.
Like it's like never repeated, for example. It's gonna be like 101, like this, and like 101. It's like repeated 2 times, like this.
Sure.
With the objects.
Okay. But at the end of the day, we're gonna need the subject name.
Subject name, I guess I can find in this class.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to do it right away. Just at the end of the day, we will have to know the subject name of the least popular class.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mm.
So sometimes I'm gonna be having some background noise. I apologize. My daughter is here and she sometimes comes to the room where I'm teaching. And usually my husband is here to cover for me, but he got stuck helping his friend who has some car trouble. So he's gonna be here anytime, but yeah, maybe for the like next 20-30 minutes, there may be some background noise. So it might help, Maksat, if you just kind of tell us about your idea, just in your own words first, before you start implementing it.
Okay. So we have array. Inside of array, we have objects. So to achieve each object, should I start with like traditional for loop?
However you want. If you guys are too cool for the for loop, we can just go ahead and use higher order functions today.
Okay. Let's do like this. Students each. So I have each student here.
Okay.
Student. I'm achieving each student. And for example, what can I do? Student dot objects, subjects will give me access to the subject. Let's create new object. Yes. Let's create an object. Yes. And then I can also do for each for the subjects. Here we can use subject ID.
Yep, that's the background noise I was talking about.
I don't need score, right? Just subject ID. Okay.
Yeah, right now we don't care about scores.
Yeah. If
As like a person is attending this class, that's what matters.
subject ID, if it's true, then
subject ID plus equal 1, else.
yes.
Good.
If it's true, then subject ID 1. It's not true, then what is
Okay.
So we are pushing each subject ID to. It's undefined.
You can console log. Are you console logging object and see what you have so far? I mean, after the for each function.
Okay.
just to see the output.
I forgot to return, I guess, right? I need to return.
No, because no, I don't think so, because you're modifying the object, right, as you're looping. So you can just console log object after for each function, I think.
For first for each, you mean, or for second?
No, after the whole loop is done, so you can console log the object. Okay.
It's 19.
Mhm.
Or
So it is not what we expected, right?
I guess something wrong. Yes.
What we expected?
So Maksat wanted to gather all subjects and see how many students are attending each subject. But the outcome currently is what we see on the console.
It's 19.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Actually, we need to find the less popular student or less popular, right?
At least popular class.
Class.
So basically, we know we have an array of students, and inside each student object, we see the class that the student is attending, right? So now we can figure out, using that students array, we can figure out which class has how many students, basically. So that's what we're trying to do here. But the output is different than what we were expecting.
But there is no any like he is not comparing with any classes here, right? Like from the class ID, subject ID.
So he's using an object in order to gather all subject IDs and then trying to store a number of students for each subject.
Oh, okay.
See?
I got it.
Maybe you do like if it's not equal and then, but approach is
The approach itself, the idea is correct. There is a bit of an issue with implementation.
yeah, like maybe Baksat, can you do like in before if an object say that not equal and then just yeah.
Yes. So this one is the less popular. This was geography. Okay. So we need. So let's find the class name.
Yeah. So how do we find the least popular? So now that we have an ID of class,
Yes.
how many students are attending, right? How do we find the least popular among them?
I would do like this, like first compare the ID to their ID that is in the class name. It's matched, then it is that one.
Okay, so that's how we can find the name of the class, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that. Also, my question is, how do we know which class, so right now, like which class ID, right, has the least amount of students?
Then, okay, I'm so confused.
So right now we can clearly see that class ID 108
Yes,
has one student, right? We can see it, but JavaScript doesn't see it, right? Just JavaScript doesn't know exactly which class right now is the least popular one.
yeah. So then list first, I would find list popular. Okay.
Mhm.
It's popular.
So how do we know which one is the least popular?
We need to compare to the. Okay, we found now the ID is one. ID is now 108, right? Which is yeah, as I said, that ID we need to write one more for loop, and then for loop we need to write on the classes ID, not students. We need the one for loop, and while we write the for loop, we then 406 the object. We need to compare that ID to an class name's ID.
Okay, let's do that.
I don't know, but I did like that within countries, and I found like not countries with like employers who has the less salary, and then I found out with ID.
Okay. That's
I'm so confused.
How is everybody else feeling? Are you guys following, Davud, Sultan?
Yep, I'm trying to do with the arrays, not the using any object.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the function like is like showing the mistake.
Because you cannot use the class name, like class, it's a keyword.
Okay.
Oh my God, new. I don't know why they make so much sound here. I don't know.
Okay, for each class item. And then I'm saying object class item class ID. If it's true, then class name that class item. Okay, class item. Let's say students. Yeah. Okay. Then let like list popular class equal to no. Let class ID. So this one is object, and should be in object. If not list popular class or object class ID students list and list popular class that students. Okay. Then this total the class should be equal to object class ID. Log this total class name. Incorrect, right? It's not nice. Should be.
I
This
mean,
is the
right now, the number of students is 0 everywhere, so it's hard to say.
number of students is everywhere 0. What did I miss? Yes, everywhere 0. It's not supposed to be 0.
I mean, you hard coded it to 0.
Yes.
So I mean, so right now you're trying to create an array with a class name and a number of students, right?
Yeah. My idea was I'm looking for the object if it's not popular or like object class ID. Yeah, the problem is is hard coded number of students.
Also,
This one.
how do you know if something is least popular or not? Right now, your least popular class is null. So you're trying to compare against null.
It should be index of the 0, right?
Yeah, yeah, should be a 0 or like negative infinity or something.
Okay. So let me debug my code. I'm a little bit confused. Okay, how can I get the number of students each class?
You just increase them plus like.
So what Maksad is struggling with right now is in his classes array, now he wants to insert the data that he has inside that object, right? So object stores the data of how many students per class they have.
You know what I'm gonna do? If I'm editing this one students, right? I need to, oh yeah. Yes. What I would do, if we have this subject ID. Okay. So actually I can add here, right? Yeah, that's it.
On line 420, could you also add the number of students property? 420. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So which one is the least popular one? Mm-hmm.
But
You-
wasn't you said the least less popular class, not the popular subject? Subject
But-
and class, two different things, right?
What do you mean by class?
She said, right, Asel, you said that we need to find the less popular class, the least
Right.
popular class.
Yes. This
Oh.
one is right.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw. Okay, then the special should be like find the less popular subject, math, English, history subject, right?
Yeah, but
I
I
saw
mean,
when you said class, I saw like we have a class A, B, C, you know, like parallel. And okay.
yeah, I mean, but those are semantics, right? We discussed what exactly we want.
Yeah, no class and subject are not the same through the related education.
Yeah, but from the context, I mean, I think it's pretty clear what we're looking
Makes
for.
sense, yes.
It's just semantics.
But I believe that we have the easier type of solution, right? I guess I make it too complicated.
Um,
For example, what
I
I
would
did,
say,
I actually created the object itself
uh-huh.
and then checked each student.
So my first concern here is if you console log classes and if you console log students, like after on line 439, let's console log classes and students array.
439
Mhm.
console log just classes
Mhm.
like this.
Yep.
And students.
Mhm.
Yes.
Ah,
Okay. Oh yeah, we're good. Okay, so no worries there.
Oh, you saw that I changed the initial
Mhm.
data
Yeah,
where
no, okay, we're good. Because we were manipulating the object, so we're good.
if I push object here, why it looks like ugly? Oh no, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I think you're good. I had a bit of a different path of solution on my mind, but this one is totally fine. I think you did really well.
Maybe yours is better. You can share with us.
So what I was thinking is, it's not better, it's just a little bit different. 1 second.
But the main idea was to create new object and push everything inside, right?
Yeah, that would definitely be the first step. So the first step was exactly what I was thinking. Well, not like that, but I would just store the number of students.
Copy. 1 second, please. 1 second.
Mhm.
So we can edit now. Okay.
So yeah, so first step was exactly the same as I was thinking. However, okay, so I wanted to loop through the students array, right? And then what was that? The student.
What I did like on line 448.
448.
Yes, it's also a follow-up for students.
Oh, yeah, that's the stuff, yeah. So then, so let's see. Student subjects for each. Yep. So,
Object.
let's see what we have right now. Could you run this code, please? Number of students.
It's on line 444. 444 and 446, you need to delete number of students.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so this is what I thought we will do as the first step.
Yeah, I did like this in the beginning. Did you remember?
Yeah. Then I thought out of this object, we are going to extract like an array of IDs and number of students and sort them. I
So
guess
you want to
we
create
sort.
like this is object, right? You want to change object to array?
Yeah. So for example, we can do object. So for example, const
I was
keys.
just thinking about the time and space complexity. That's why I didn't use array. I just used an object.
The time complexity here is still ON.
Oh,
In-
it's because of for each.
Yeah. So it wouldn't matter.
Okay.
So then I thought that we're gonna extract, for example, are we gonna do keys or object that keys, object that, yeah, keys. I think it's keys. So I'm not sure how this method works. It's been a while, but I think, okay, so let's console log keys. Okay, let's see. Oh, so it's not keys, object that values. You guys know these methods, right?
Yeah. We
Mhm.
also have one like entries.
Yep. Okay, so we have that. So what I was thinking is we're just gonna sort them. And that should give us a sorted array. So
Oh, okay.
so
But what we have like 2 1-1s in a
yeah, that would be an edge case. Probably. Let's see. So then I thought so now we know the smallest number of students, right? In our case, it's 1. So then what I was thinking is we're gonna
smallest number of
Hmm?
students. Okay.
yeah, per class. So we know that 1,
It's geography. Okay.
right? So we know that the first number is the smallest one, right? Then we could extract the IDs of classes that have that number of students. So in that case, that would be for that in object, right? So what we're looking for is object. Hold on. Is it the key or the value? I always forget.
101, it's key. Now it's gonna show 101, 102, 103.
Okay.
If you get the value, so object brackets key.
So if it's the smallest number of students, oh, it doesn't.
Tab is tab. How to change this combination, because the Mara is also doing with enter. Everyone guys using enter instead of tab.
Yeah, enter to me, it's just so intuitive. I don't know. But I mean, if you're fine with tab, it's okay. But I guess it's in shortcut. There's like keyboard shortcuts menu that you can use where you can change the settings.
Because
So
it's like when you press enter, you will go to the next line. I remember like this.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, whatever you feel comfortable with, like whatever you're used to. So if object key is the smallest, yeah, so if the value is equal to the smallest, so we're gonna least popular class that push key. So like I said, it's like the way I thought we will solve it is different, but it's not necessarily better. So up to you guys, whatever.
So least popular now will be 108, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have typo on least popular. You missed the character A.
Okay. Least popular. And even if multiple classes have this number of students, we will still get this array. Just it will be multiple classes. So it's addressing your previous question. What if multiple classes have one student in them? So we
After not only one subject, it's gonna be like two subjects to right? Like,
yeah.
of physics, so math. And now you planning to follow this least popular with the classes, right? And then this is
Yeah.
if they matched with the class ID,
Mm-hmm.
this one, the class name will be like returned.
Yeah. That would be the last step. So that's how I thought that we will solve it, but it's not necessarily like a better way.
There are multiple way to solve this.
Yeah, it's just different, but both ways are perfectly fine. So whatever you guys feel comfortable with, that is the better way for you, right? So then you would just, identify the name of the class and that's it. Okay?
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
No? Okay. Good. Does anybody want to take over from Asel, or should he just continue sharing? Up to you guys.
I also can share.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Maksat. Good job. So, if you guys have noticed in our classes array, we have a minimum score that is required to pass this class, right? So what we want is we want to see if students have passed their classes. So in the students array, we have their score in each class. So we want to know whether they have passed their classes or not.
Oh my God.
Okay. And the trick here is we want to, so you know how like in school, if you fail at least one class, like if you fail, even if you fail one class, you're still failing, right? So we want to find the students who have failed like even one class, right? And we want like the list of students who have failed at least one class.
Okay.
Okay.
One more time, Asel. Sorry, one more time. I just didn't get it.
So in our classes array, each
Okay.
class has a minimum score that is required to pass this class.
Okay. They are different, right?
I think so. Let's see. Are they should be different because yeah, they're different.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because if it was just one score, it wouldn't be fun. So,
I don't know.
my mode was to cause the maximum amount of pain to solve these tasks. That's why I made sure that it's different score for each class.
Okay.
So we want to know.
You customize that, right?
Of course. Of course. I was, when I was preparing for this class, I was like, okay, how can I come up with the most creative way to torture them today? And here I am. So yeah, so each class has the required score in order for you to pass this class. Each student also has a score, right? So that score, we need to compare it to the minimum score and determine whether a student has passed the class or not. Okay, that would be the first step.
So
Second step, yes?
the second to understand, you need the names of students who failed the minimum score at least once, right?
Yeah.
So we compare each like from each class, right?
Yeah.
That would good luck.
What?
I like first one for loop and after one for loop we will compare their minimum score passed to the score, right?
Sort of, yeah. So
Yeah.
we do need to compare minimum score that
There
is
you go.
required class to the score of the student on the given subject. Yeah, so that would be the first step. And that's how we determine whether a student has passed the class or failed. And then we need an array of students who have failed even one class, right? So even if they failed one class, they still failed
The minimum score,
school.
yeah.
Yeah, the school year. They're still failing. So we need their list. Okay.
Asel,
Yes.
yeah, continue. Sorry.
Let me see if we have any failing students, because I was too nice when I was giving them scores. I think their scores are too high. Let's change the scores a little bit to make sure that we have failing students in the students array. Not the minimum scores, but the student scores. Yeah. So let's give them like 50, 40 something to some of them.
60.
Celia, before starting this task, I just wanna make sure that my approach are correct. So in my mind, the idea was, for example, I wanna create the object of the subject ID and the minimum score, like 101, 65, 102, like 75. I wanna create, first of all, that object with ID and the minimum score.
Why don't you write this down and send it as a DM so Davut has an opportunity to come up with his own plan? Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm telling about my own plan.
Yeah, but write it in a DM. Don't share it out loud so that Davut has time to think of his own strategy.
Yeah, anyway, I've been thinking about the scoring, so I don't understand what he's saying.
Yeah, I definitely should. That was gonna go to another way.
So now, Davut, you have to come up with a different way.
Yeah. Can I leave at least one student with the high score? So, like, I'm gonna have one student at least with the high score.
Okay, let's be nice. Let's let one
See,
student.
this one guy will have a 15, so. So yeah, first of all, I want to like store all the scores. Can I like minimum score in the variable and then for each the students and compare?
Mhm. Okay, sounds good. And you want to store it in an object, right?
No, I want to store it in array. I don't like object. I'm not. I don't. I don't want to deal with the object.
I know it's complicated. I know.
How to understand then which score belongs to which classes?
Okay, let him do it. Yeah, Davut, try your way.
Let me cook. Okay,
Yeah,
the minimum score.
Okay, you can start solving. I will be back in 2 minutes.
What was the name of the class? Minimum score. Okay. Be the double one.
Okay, my husband is back, so no more distractions. All right, how's it going?
I'm trying to reach the scores. I don't know.
So, what do you have in your mean score array?
I have the scores.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I try to reach the scores. Course objects. The score. Okay. And what is this? Like each score of each student?
I suppose so, yeah.
The 81.
But also it's a nested loop, so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
your initial minimum score array contains all the minimum scores.
okay.
Now on line 410, you have access to each to each score of each student. Right? So the issue here is, how do you determine whether that student has indeed passed the class? Because even though you have an array of minimum scores, you don't know which score belongs to which subject. Therefore, your comparison will be corrupted. Does that make sense?
Oh, yep.
So think about it.
First, I just want to see what's gonna happen if I just place this one in here.
Sure, yeah, take your time.
Okay.
Asel, he just needs to compare I understand there can be minimum score, can be 55, can be 100, right? So can be different, but still if he's gonna compare the score, and it's still gonna match for the mini score pass. If it's not, then it will fail.
Right, but right now for Dovut, there is no way to compare score with the score of a specific subject, because you see now he has an array of minimum scores for each subject, but there is no subject name. Therefore, he doesn't know which score belongs to which subject. You know what I mean, Aziza?
Yeah, I understand, but still, if it's math or not math, it's still gonna Okay, because he didn't, yeah, maybe then class name should be he turned to and like the minimum score. So it is the number, you are right. So because this then you cannot compare the class name to the number, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm totally confused now what I'm doing and what you guys have to do.
Oh, you're on the right track. So you
Mhm.
have, did you delete your array of minimum scores?
It's here.
Uh-huh.
Just place it inside the for each. So it's like now each student have like I can compare with the array. So that's why I decided might be.
I think you don't need to use map, I think. Because map returns the array with numbers, right, Asel?
That's why I wanted.
Oh, okay.
So it's not very clear to me what you're trying to do online for 07.
Well, I just grabbed the each like a score, minimum score from the each classes.
Uh-huh. And what is class 1?
You just don't accept the class, so I just put the keyword class 1. So yeah. It's just each like the minimum score of each classes. So I place the numbers inside the
So
minimum score. Yeah.
so the issue with this approach now is that you are generating the same array of minimum scores
Mhm.
as it was previously, as you did previously, but now you're doing it on each loop,
Yeah, that's
which
why.
is useless.
Which is what?
Which is useless.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
because
before it was better.
like that initial array,
Mhm.
you're just duplicating it on each loop. So for each student, you're generating a new array of minimum scores,
Yeah.
which
Right.
you don't need to do, right?
Yeah.
You can just have one, and you know, and even that is a little problematic.
Mm. But if I anyway like use it in this for each, it's gonna be the same, right? Even it's gonna be the global. See if I consolidate it.
Of course, yeah, because those are minimum scores of each class,
Yeah.
not each student, right?
Okay.
So now we're back to square one and back to our discussion of how can we compare the subject score of the student
Mhm.
with an array of minimum scores. Because so what I mean is, let me get the control.
We need maybe we need the one variable and assign that mini score there. You can compare it with it.
Even if we have a variable, so for example, let's say the subject score right now, it's like 60, right? And if we compare it to the minimum score array, which is an array of minimum scores, so let's say we have 75, 80, 60,
I mean, we
etc.
cannot compare it with the array, right? We have to.
We cannot compare it to the array, first of all. But
Yeah.
even if we were able to compare it to each minimum score, we still don't know which score belongs to which class. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but does we need to know? Because you
course.
say it like, I mean, the we're doing the deal with the students, right? So if it's just the students like pass that score, so he's passing. If he's not
Oh,
passing, he's not passing. That's what you say, like,
no.
no?
We
That's
need
how I
to,
understand your question.
we need to know,
The name of student who failed, right?
right? But first, we need to know. So, for example, the minimum score for math is different than the minimum score for English
Okay.
and the minimum score for history. So if he has 60 for math, we need to compare it to the minimum score of specifically math, not any mini score. Do you see what I mean? So for example, math has 65 as a minimum score. So we need to compare exactly the subject and the score to minimum score of that subject. Because like I emphasized in the beginning, each subject has a different score to pass. If they all had the same score, our task would be so much easier, right?
Okay, I understood. Now I understood. Now we need to compare the minimum score to the subject name.
And the final return supposed to be?
Supposed to be the students who have failed at least one class. That's the output. But in order to get here, first there is like a lot of data that we need to process, right? And the first step is to determine whether each student has passed each class. So basically, has this student, Bob Smith, passed math? Has he passed science? Has he passed English, PE, right? And in order to determine that, we need to compare the student's score to the minimum score of that specific subject. So for example, math is minimum score is 65. Did he pass math? Yes, he did, because his score is 79, right? Next, science. Did he pass science? His score is 85. What's the minimum score for science?
But Asel, you are saying that
Yes.
you are saying that if the one of the subjects like math or whatever, if students fails just it is, yeah, of course there's 4 subjects, but if it fails just only one, it's still gonna fail from minimum score plus, right? Let's say he has a very good score, math, geography or some, but when it comes to, let's say, to biology, he has bad, and he's gonna still fail, right?
Yes, but we still need to determine if he has failed, or passed each class before we even get here. So you know, when you're given a task at work, they will not tell you, okay, so first you need to determine whether he passed each class, and then whether he like you need to compare scores, etc., right? So the task is going to be, okay, give me a list of students that have failed at least one class. This is how like it's going to look, right? So it's your task, it's your job to come up with the logic to reach to this answer. Okay, so they will not give you like a step-by-step instruction of how to get to that answer, because they have no idea themselves, right? So they will just, one day they will tell you, okay, we want to know the names of students who have failed at least one class. How you will get there is your business. Okay. So for example, if you're working for some fancy private high school, you're working on their internal website, right? And they want to have a table of students who have failed at least one class. So it will be your job to come up with the logic to render that list of students. So how are you going to get from, you know what data you have, you have a list of students, a list of classes with minimum scores. So this is the data that you're given, right? How are you going to use this data in order to come up with the outcome that they are expecting from you is your task, like you're supposed to determine it, right? That's why I'm giving you this kind of like multiple step tasks, because this is what you're going to be facing on almost daily basis. Does that make sense? That's why I'm not like giving you like small, because before we were working on really small tasks that required at least like, I don't know, like one loop maximum, right? And then you would get your answer. But those were small preparatory steps so that we can solve this kind of tasks. Okay? That's why now what I'm giving you is like multiple step tasks so that you guys can, suffer a little bit and come up with the logic that will lead you to the outcome that we're expecting. Okay? So now, if we go back to our current code, the issue with this approach, I mean, there's nothing wrong per se here, right? But your minimum score array cannot provide us with a meaningful comparison, even if we look through each number here, right? Because let's say this student's score for math, for example, is 60. So if his score for math is 60, and for math class, the passing minimum score is 75, so you have to compare it specifically to the math score. You cannot compare it to, for example, art class score, because the math teacher, who has his own standards, doesn't care that the art teacher will pass his students at score 60. He passes his students at score 75. So if this student has a score of 60 for math class, you have to compare it specifically to the math class's minimum required score. But you don't know which minimum score belongs to which class if this is an array. Does that make sense?
Kind of.
Okay. So that's why when you were pitching the idea of an array of minimum scores,
No, but I did it because like in my understanding, the first time when you say it is like doesn't matter, like if he doesn't pass like at least one, he's not passing. So
Yeah, I thought
that's
like
why.
that also.
Yeah.
of course, if it's at least one class, but how do you know if he is passing a specific class or not if you're not able to compare it to this class's minimum score? You cannot compare it to any minimum score because that wouldn't make sense. You have to, so if this student has a math score of 60, you go to this array, you find math, and its minimum score is 65. So is he failing this class? Yes, he is, right? Go back to his class, his grades, and we see that his English score is 85. So we go back to this array. Now we need to find the English class, and the score is to pass this class is 70. So is he failing this class? No. But how, even if you thought, okay, so at least one class, right? Okay, that is the task, but you cannot possibly determine if he is passing or failing without meaningful
Okay. I understood. So,
specific classes minimum score. You
Mm.
cannot compare it to any minimum score. You have to compare it to a specific minimum score. Does that make sense?
like we thought, Asel, we thought that I didn't see this the line 4. I thought that mini score applies for everyone, and I didn't.
No. That's why when we were initially discussing this task, I specifically said that each class has its own minimum score. And then you guys asked me if that minimum score is different for every class. And I said, yes. Remember?
Mm.
You see? Because if they had only one score for all classes, so let's say 75 is the score to pass all classes, then this would be a very easy task.
Mhm.
Right? So you would, in that case, you would just compare all scores to 75. That's it.
That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, but that's not possible because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Because each class, and as you have already started doing it, you know that each class
Mhm.
has a different minimum score.
Mhm.
It's different. It's not one number. So you need to determine how you can have a meaningful comparison, not to any mini score, but to a specific mini score of a specific class. Okay?
Mhm.
That's why using an array here is risky, because arrays don't, they can, but your current array doesn't store the information on which class has which score. It only has an array of all minimum scores.
You're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go back to this first step and think of the way of how we can store a score and a class so we can effectively compare.
So with the object one.
Your favorite data structure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh. Uh, classes. For each, I guess, right?
Okay.
Well, can I put just class 1 because it doesn't accept the
Sure.
keyword of the class. So if class 1, the main thing is just supposed to be true, right? I don't know. It does it like important what we compare here. We just want to put the object in the.
So the question is, do you need to have an, because this is a unique, like array of unique classes.
Mm.
Yeah, we need to have a lookup object if it's not an array of unique classes. But in this case, it's unique classes, so you can just store the data.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This one, the class name equals to, what was the minimum
Mean score to pass.
mean score to pass? Did I do something right? I don't know.
Okay.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please.
Yep. Let's run it.
Okay, we have the object of each class with the minimum score.
Good.
Mhm.
So now you have an opportunity to have a meaningful comparison of
Mhm.
students' scores with the minimum score of a given class. Okay.
Mhm. I have no idea how to compare with the object.
Yeah, that will be the next difficulty.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand what's the next, but I have no idea how to do with the object.
So let's go back to our student object. Let's
Mhm.
scroll up. Mhm. So your student has subjects array,
Mhm.
right? Each
Mhm.
subject has a subject name
Mhm.
and a score.
Mhm.
Your object on the console right now also has a subject name, which is identical to the subject name inside student's object, right? And
Mhm.
some score to pass.
Mhm. Okay. Can I clean it?
Sure.
If uh, subject, the subject is each array, right? The each object, right?
So right now, subject is, for example, line 361.
Yeah, 361. Oh my God, the subject, the score. Oh wait, do we need to put the both variation like greater and the lower, or we're gonna put the great first, greater, and then else if
No, I think we can just determine if it's
equal?
no. So how do we know if the student has failed a class? So his grade is supposed to be lower than the minimum grade, right? His score is supposed to be lower.
Oh, right. We have to do which. Okay. I thought it's both. We need to put both variation if we pass and like fail. So
If you want, yeah.
let's do with the first. Just with the one.
That was an evil laugh, Maksad.
Sorry about that.
Object what? What's supposed to be? I put the mean score. What's supposed to be here? Is anybody value?
Yep. So yeah, you guys need to practice with objects more because objects are very powerful. So our object right now, can you guys see my mouse?
Mm-hmm.
It looks like this, right? So we need to know if the subject score is less than, so for example, let's say, so right now, let's say we are comparing if art score, let's say, which is 60. So is it is it smaller than? So now we need to get that art score from this object, right? So, Dovot, how do I reach to this 50 in this object?
This was my question.
Yeah, so normally, forget about this part right now. How do you do that? If you need to reach
Object dot value
object that,
value.
object that,
I mean, first, like if you want to
Art.
get the properties kind of key, and then
Yes.
if you want to value.
if we need to reach to 50, we need to reach via
The
the
key.
key name, which
Mm.
is art, right? We
Mm.
would do object that art.
Mm. Oh, the square key.
Exactly.
Okay.
So
And then value.
we cannot do object that art specifically here because we want to keep it dynamic, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
which part here in this loop, which part has the subject name?
Right.
Where do we have a subject name?
In subject name.
Exactly.
Secondary subject name. What do you mean? We have subject name of both of them.
She will
Subject,
have a subject name, and then she use
that,
that, and then
sorry, no that, because it's straight
no,
away.
I mean, okay. Why would just not put just value? Okay, strange.
What do you mean by value?
Okay. We
Like,
have an object now in art. Computer science is kind of like property keys, right? So if you cancel a key, you will get answer of computer science. And if you get value, then you get the value. And oh my God.
That's what we're trying to get here. We're
Mhm.
trying to get to the value for each subject. Does that make sense, guys? Is
Yes,
everyone
yes, yes.
on the same page?
can you explain please the so our object, why you put the subject name
So
in
each
my yeah.
at this point, we are looping through student that subjects array,
Mhm.
which is this, right?
Mhm.
So we know that subject name corresponds with the
Art, computer science.
our object here, right?
Mhm.
So we are comparing subject's score. So for example, English score, right?
Mhm.
To what? To the corresponding score here.
Mhm.
So because we cannot say object that English, because this
Mhm.
part has to stay dynamic, right?
Mhm.
So this key is also supposed to be dynamic. So for example, if we're comparing score of English class, we also need to compare object that English. If we're comparing score of art class, we need to compare object that art.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
why we are using not dot notation, but square brackets, so that the subject name is always dynamic.
Mm. Okay.
So what do we do if the score is smaller than the passing score here?
Mm.
What's our next?
You fail.
Mm-hmm.
The class name or what? The student name? What we have to?
The name.
Huh?
To the name.
Student
Student
name.
name?
So if the student has failed at least one class, we want to know their name.
Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
So what we can do is we can have
We need to one variable and then variable equal to student name.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that would now it's like your time because
What?
this is it. I'm saying like today finally.
Yeah, the push.
Yep. So failed students that push, what?
The student name, what was the path of the
Student
student and name?
that probably, I'm not sure. Let's check.
Yeah, name.
Student that name. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So what do you think will be the output now if I console log failed students?
The students who's fail
It's
like at least
really
one.
Okay, let's run our code and see.
gonna be empty.
No.
Mhm.
How
Yeah,
you gonna push the student that name inside of the for each of the subject?
Because this for each is inside the outer for each, so we can still reach
Mhm.
the student name.
and this the same question like Maksat, I also had it before. I didn't know how to. I could just log all the information about but I couldn't find out the name. I only needed name, and then I understood that you can write whatever you like, and you can even just push like student.name and student.age, and it will give you answer. Like, I didn't know that JavaScript was that powerful.
So if those were two separate loops, then we wouldn't be able to do that, right? As you said, because if this was a loop outside of this loop,
Mhm.
then we wouldn't be able to reach to the student name. But because this loop is nested inside the student's loop,
Mhm.
means that here inside the inner loop, we still have access
To the
to
purpose.
the
Yeah,
student data, right? Because this is about scoping,
that's
right?
cool.
We are inside this function's scope, so we have access to all the variables inside the outer function. Maksat, is it clear?
Yeah. So my question was totally different. Sorry about that.
What was your question?
Why it's empty? Array. I don't
Why?
like. Yes.
Because it should be empty there. You will just if it's not empty, you cannot push. It should be an empty. You are just
No. When you console log the failed students, why well, empty? So it means like we don't have the students who has the minimum who has, but actually we have it, right?
It's not empty.
Alisa Jensen, Bob Smith.
Oh, sorry about that.
They push the names of who's the failed.
Oh. Actually, it's because I zoomed your code. I didn't see the answer.
Okay, cool. So, why we have Charlie Lee twice?
Because he failed two
Two
like
object.
Right? So how do we prevent that from happening?
includes using includes.
Include or again object.
Yeah, we can use includes. If it doesn't include,
Or includes, it will be then too much for each and less that because includes also the for loop actually.
I wonder if we can break the loop, but I'm not sure if that will work inside for each. Do you guys know?
Have no idea.
Me neither. No, I guess it doesn't work. Jump target cannot cross function boundary. So what we can do is we can either use includes. So if it doesn't include, then we will push it, or we can just do set once we're done.
New set.
Mhm.
How was the just can I?
Sure, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I understand it. What is wrong with my code? I didn't change the scores of the students as Dawood did before.
You didn't change?
Yes. So
Ah.
all of my students are passed
Yeah.
everything. I was the failed student. I was thinking, why it's empty? I like spent 1 hour to find it.
Yeah,
Um,
remember I said that I think all students have higher scores, so let's give some students really low scores.
When I sent the code DM to you, you asked me what's next. I
Mhm.
did it exactly the same what you did, but my answer always was empty strings. Oh, sorry, empty arrays. I was thinking, what is wrong? What is wrong?
is
Yeah.
it how we did the new array of new set?
And you said
So
Well,
first
how
you
is
create set,
parentheses.
and then first you create a set. Yeah.
and then put the just failed students?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you will get, so let's console log failed right now so you can see. So this right now is a set, you see?
By
So
so
in order to transform it into an array, you need to wrap the whole thing, new set failed students, into an array, so square brackets.
like that?
Uh-huh. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you console log again, you will see that this set is now inside an array, but it's still a set, right? So now
Mhm.
you need to use spread operator before new, so that it kind of opens up the, the
Oh
set.
my God.
The dairy.
Yeah. So my advice is not to memorize these things, but to understand what they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I would rather just use the includes and that's it.
Includes return array.
Just put everything like if it's in if it doesn't include, just push it and that's it.
Well, that is also a valid approach.
Celia, please, can you explain one more time what's new set?
So set will
The
create,
object, right?
huh?
Set usually create the object.
No,
No?
it doesn't create an object. It creates a set. Set and object are different data structures.
Oh, that's why I'm confusing here.
Yeah, so set creates a new set. So set is a different data structure. It is similar to object, but let's get rid of the square brackets and let's just see what set looks like.
It's supposed to be looks like the object, like with the curly brackets.
Yeah. So you see how, first of all, it says set, right? It's not an object. And you see how it's the syntax is a bit different, you see? So the set will store unique values. It does look like an object, but it has different methods. So for example, hold on, let me Google.
Sorry, can you please, before the line 424, console.log the failed students?
Sure.
Line 423.
But honestly, can I max up?
Yes.
I remember what I did the first time when I put the like map and create the array of the
Uh-huh.
naming column. But if I created this and compare with the same like this with my array, like or spread it on so whatever, like just with the value of n failed student push student name, does it gonna be the same answer?
But how you gonna know to which subject it belongs to? For example, we have number of scores.
No, I understand what like just with the answer, does it gonna be the same?
Hmm.
Answer of what?
No, it's not gonna be same.
Like here, if I had the array with the minimum score, right?
Huh?
If I compare the like a subject score with the like smaller, if it's smaller with the all like that's in for each no it's not gonna go. This for each is gonna give me the lot of
The main point is you are like
yeah, I understand. I
object
will
that
still
subject. So you know
I,
you know subject is subject. I mean like
yeah.
comparing all the subjects.
Yeah, I understand. I just still want to do with my array. I will do it with my array.
Forget about it.
I
I
will
mean,
still figure out how to do with my array.
I got you.
so then,
That please
then you,
console.log.
Please
The-
use that code to us, Davut.
Oh,
so
do you want me to put the
what
brackets?
No,
if
no,
you
no.
compare it
Can you
to your array, then you don't need to. You just need to find the smallest number in your array and then compare it to that one.
The
Because if
small.
you're comparing to every number,
Uh-huh.
it's smaller than every number in the array. So then you
uh-huh.
compare it to just the smallest number,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And then I guess,
I just been doing the algorithm question, the in a lead code, whatever is like give me the question, most of them was the like a array. So I've been doing the array. So like I have no idea how to do with the object because I don't know, if I remember I will solve any question with the object algorithm.
so
that's why we are doing now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just really don't know how to do it. Even
so
some like algorithm question in like a SayTech portal is asking me to do with the object I doing with the array.
So it's very important to know how to manipulate with objects because you're at work, you're going to be dealing with them a lot. I don't know like about lead code, but at work, definitely like there is no avoiding objects. And you will have huge object, nested objects. You will have to know how to manipulate them, how to get the data that you want, etc., etc. So like you cannot avoid it. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the set. I just want to show you. So I mean, set is different than object, but I think it was built as like, I think it has object as a prototype. I'm not sure. You will have to check on that. But set has its own set of a list of methods. So for example, failed currently is a set, right? So you can, they have like has method. So has will look up if the current set sort of like includes something. It's like includes method for array.
Mhm.
Has also does the same as you said.
Can you
What's that?
please console.log before in for line 4 to 3 the console log the failed students. I want to see the difference between the failed and failed students. Just failed students, yes.
The failed student's gonna be just array with the failed student.
Let's run our code.
So we
So
have to generally just the failed students when we use the set. It removes the Charles Lee. It shows only the unique one. And when we have used the has, it's false because we don't have a Celia. But if you put Alice Johnson, it's gonna be true. Okay.
So let's try. I'm not sure if it's case sensitive. Let's try Alice Johnson.
I think it is.
Yeah, probably is.
Save, please, Dawood. And
Yeah.
refresh.
Okay, I just cannot find the chat here on my screen. It doesn't show me the chat.
Oh, just press Command S.
Command S.
Yeah, saved. Okay,
Yeah.
it's false.
Yeah,
It's
so
false.
sensitive, right?
So it's case sensitive, right?
yeah, I guess. Oh, sorry. I guess I wasn't sure. So now if we do Alice Johnson, okay, let's run it.
Sure.
Sure. Okay, so yeah, it is case sensitive.
Okay, then
the
why did you
time-
put the brackets?
What?
Why did you put the new set into the brackets?
Very.
So because we want an array, right? So if you want to turn a set into an array, so what you need to do is wrap it in square brackets, and then use a
Before
spread.
spreading, can you just save it and now without
Sure.
any dot? I
Sure.
just want to difference.
Let's run it.
Uh-huh. Okay.
That's-
Okay.
No. Right now we are getting an error because failed is no longer a set. So we need to get rid of this method. That's why it's throwing us an error. Okay, so let's run again. So you see now it's a set inside an array. You see? It's an array with one set inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what we want. We want the values, right? That's why we use spread operator. And now if we run again, we will see that it's all the values. You see?
Okay.
That's the difference.
Beautiful.
Yeah, but Asel, when you say that, okay, do it without built-in function with algorithm, which is like mostly answers from the SATEC portal, was like very, very, like they have questions, for example, yeah, find this object without using filter, for example,
Yeah.
Then I get really like, when you said it's so easy, you just do, it's super easy, but when you write this, then we need to write again for loop, right?
So when SATEC portal is telling you to solve something without using, for example,
Mainly
built
like build functions, like for example, map and so, and
so they just want you to use your own logic.
yes, you're right.
Build the same method, which is good. It's a good practice because
Yes.
behind every method, there is some kind of function. So they just want you to write that function.
Yeah, they call it engine. They call it, yeah. So when you open this new set, there's also for loop. There's also some, yeah.
Cool.
So do you guys have any questions about this this task?
Now need to practice more with the object.
Yeah, that's true. And that's for everyone. Like you cannot avoid objects. They will be everywhere. So and for example, in our code base, we still have React components that were built with classes. So in order to understand classes, you need to understand objects. Have you guys had a class on classes?
Not yet.
Oh,
No.
okay. So classes are like object factories. And I'm not going to give you any more information because it will confuse you. You need a separate class on that and you will have it. But basically, we still have React components. So like a code that is built in React using classes, which are object factories. Basically, they create objects. But in order to understand a class, you need to understand the object really well. So yeah, that's why, like I said, like there's no avoiding it. Also, whenever you're creating some kind of variable to store something, right? And then you are looping through an array. So like this whole thing can be one reduce function. Right? So if I were you, I would just use reduce because it's like clear, concise, And yeah, I think it would be better to just use reduce here. Okay.
Mhm.
So how are you guys feeling with those, with today's tasks?
Good.
Good,
Good.
good. Yes.
Good. Okay.
Actually, I like more object than array.
You know, I did one thing with my complicated one task was about these countries, and even it was array object, and it was again object and object, you know, and I really got very confused there, and it is like, and then of course other method will not help you. Only it was in foreign, so you
Mhm.
could follow only with foreign.
Yeah.
So it was so complicated. I mean, not complicated, but as Dawood said that this array with array is easy because array has a lot of build in functions, you know, like, and then it was first array with an object, and it was object again had a object inside object, you know. Oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, if you get stuck, you can always use ChatGPT. So, but not like to get the correct answer, but to explain why this is the current output. You know, you can say, this is my function, this is the input, this is the output. Like, why am I getting this kind of output? And it will explain everything to you. And I really like ChatGPT's explanations because they're like precise, straight to the point, and
Smarter than human.
hmm?
Smarter than human.
Well, I mean, it has more data than a human brain. That's right, but I wouldn't say it's smarter. But yeah, it's really good at explaining things. So for example, when I have like a really complex function that has a bug in it, and in order to fix it, I need to understand the function first, right? So then I use ChatGPT to explain some parts of the function that I don't understand. And it's very helpful. It really is. It
Mhm.
doesn't always help, but I would say it helps in a lot of situations.
Mm.
So I would encourage you to use it for explaining, but not for getting the answer right away. Like if you're stuck for some time, if you are stuck on one task for I don't know, 40 minutes or so. Oh, yeah, you can use Google or ChatGPT to get your answer, but make sure that you understand it, not just copy paste it. Okay. And you know, I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing that you guys are learning JavaScript when you have ChatGPT, because sometimes when you're using it, it's like and you get your solution, it seems that it's very easy and you could get to it on your own. But
Yeah, I mean, you mean try like at least 41 hour, and if it's not gonna work, and then open the ChatGPT, not right
yeah,
away.
yeah, because when you use ChatGPT, you think, oh, this is like really easy. I could have solved it myself. But I bet you, like if you were solving it on your own, you would spend a lot more time than you think to solve that task. So it gives you that illusion that it's really easy. So you don't put enough effort in your solution. That's why I encourage you to first to suffer the old-fashioned way. And then if you're really stuck, only then use ChatGPT to get your answer.
You also can ask the correct version of ChatGPT. For example, you can ask like, don't show me the answer, don't show me that like
Yeah.
solution, just give me the hint.
Yeah, you can do that. You can give a prompt.
What I do when I'm stuck, I'm asking the hints.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
Like, you know, Asel, for example, like we have an array with an object, right? And we have there like do you remember we had like an employers, some like easy practicing, you know? And employers like from the IT department, finance, you know, and like yesterday I just wanted to try to find out who has the lowest salary and wanted to give like 2,000 bonus.
Okay.
You know what happened?
What?
I tried to find who has the lowest. I need just one person who is the lowest.
Right.
But I with my brain, with what I have my IQ, I will always get in 70,000, 80,000, and 90,000. Who is the lowest 3%, you know? I know. Oh my God, what you know, my logic says, okay, JavaScript will understand you. You will just like, okay, compare the salary. It's okay, you know, with zero. And then one of my friend said, hey, you need to write there, you need to make one variable and put the zero, like index zero. Oh my God. And when I put like index zero, then I got the answer for one. But I couldn't even give like, if I wanted to give a bonus, it didn't work either. Because yes, I could see if one person, for example, Maksat has this salary and bonus, but I cannot see the whole array. I mean, whole object, you know, whole array. Then I need to, and you know, my logic doesn't get it, you know.
Yeah,
So, you know, it just seems like easy, but it is.
yeah. So it
Really
certainly takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice to build the logic. I mean, I still struggle with it. I still struggle with some things. So it's not like, and also like if you stop practicing, you will lose it. So yeah, just make sure that you're constantly practicing algorithms together with your regular classes. Do you
And
get
ID also a very powerful thing, right? ID.
ID?
Yeah, each object has like an ID, because I have seen with the professional, I mean, in real work, most the data information comes with an ID, and it's long numbers, you know, not like one, two.
Yeah, of course.
And that's
Asel,
one.
Yes.
I have a question about the learning the algorithms. So in my case, like when I'm like doesn't matter, I already solved like I don't know maybe more than 100 like the questions, and every time like I don't feel I became like a better in my like logic. I just know the syntax, maybe how it's work. Like most of the time, I just remember of manipulation. Like for example, includes I can do with the includes like if it's like a same value, so I can use the includes. I just remember the manipulation of the like combination of code.
Okay.
I'm not like doing it with how to say to understand like each how it's work. Like so if every time it's new question, I just remember the of combination of like the code, which like how I use this combination, and I just use it like every time. It's not like I'm logically understand how gonna compare this with this. I just remember to the combination. That's how I learned the algorithm. But is it the right way? Because every time I see the new question, is something like new for me. You know, like how to say. I don't feel I get better with the logic.
Hmm.
I just remember of syntax and the combination of code, and that's it.
I mean, knowing the syntax by heart and knowing the methods is already like 50% of the success, right? Um, Stretching your logic muscle takes time. And I mean, in my opinion, you're doing really well. So I wouldn't say that you're not making progress. I mean, it's obvious to me that you are making progress. So I wouldn't judge, like, if I were you, I wouldn't judge myself so harshly. I think every algorithm that you solve is contributing to your progress. It may not be so like visible or You may not feel it right now, but I mean, to me, it's obvious that you're making progress. I don't know why you would say something like that.
Like, because like every time if I solve something, it's because I remember of the combination of that code. It's not because of like how
If
to
you
say.
remember, then it means that you still have that talent, you know?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, and that's bad because if you see something new, like which you don't use that combination before, then I start to struggle. You know, like, oh my God, I have to like to understand the logic, and I feel so stupid because I don't understand it. Like because I something new for me that like and then I find the combination of that code, okay, and I start to break out the each like line, and then I understand the that combination. Oh, okay, I will remember this one and use it for the next one, maybe if it's gonna be something same.
I guess it's totally fine.
Yeah, it's how you learn.
Know everything. You cannot know everything, and especially when you see something new and you don't understand, it's like the normal thing.
So, for example, when you're faced
Right
with
now, I didn't know what's set. I would never use it set.
once Azamat showed us, and then when I said, oh, this set is new for me, and then he used to include, do you remember when the restaurant menu, when we did? So he's so advanced, he wanted to use set.
Yeah.
so
I heard it.
but coming back to your concern, it's totally normal for you to take some time to solve like a new question or build a new kind of logic if you're faced with it for the first time. And in fact, it would be really strange if you would be able to just come up with a solution immediately because you're not ChatGPT, right? So a human brain needs time to process new requirements, new data, and come up with the new logic. It's totally fine. You are not a machine, so you need some time to digest and to come up with a new solution. And
Yeah,
this is how you
I
learn.
saying this. Sorry, Aselia. I'm just saying this because like you said, when I see the sit in one question, maybe 2 hours, and then like, oh my God, I just want to see the answer, and I put in the chat GPT, and this came up with the answer. Like you said, like, oh my God, really? I knew all this syntax, like all this stuff. It look easy, but why I just sit it like 2 hours with it? Like,
Let me tell you something. When I was at your at like what is it, third month? Is it third month?
yeah.
I would spend up to 8 hours on one question. 8 hours, I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating, like 8 hours.
Wow.
I
So-
believe Asel.
So, so
Same experience.
if you spend 2 hours, that's like 4 times better than what I did. So that's good. And don't judge yourself too harshly because this is like a totally new language. If you were learning Chinese, after 3 months, you wouldn't expect yourself to know everything and to be able to build like complex sentences in Chinese, right? So you need to give yourself like a little break. Okay. And to me, as an instructor, it's obvious that you are making progress. So I would disagree with you when you say that, you're not making progress, like you feel like you're not making progress. It's not how I feel. So, and since this is a dictatorship, my opinion is the only one that counts. So, me as a dictator, I'm saying that you are definitely making progress. So yeah, please don't think that you're just,
Asel, on internet, it says that like I Googled and find out like it's so how long does it take to learn JavaScript, and then they have a bunch of answers, especially from the English speaker, like, from Quora or like from this Medium, and the people, most of them, they answered like, if you are smart, if you have a high IQ, So I didn't want to read but I still did. And you need to time at least to like, if you have like a very high IQ, I mean, if you are very intelligent, smart, it's going to take you like 7 months, 6-7 months. Most answer was 6 months. But if you are a little bit, you have, of course, not that IQ, and it's going to take you 1 year to learn the JavaScript. But to be a master, I mean, have a more experience and stuff, and it's going to take 4 years. I mean, like solving the algorithms and.
So JavaScript is bigger than the algorithms, right? It has a lot more to it, but your current goal is not to learn everything there is to learn about JavaScript. Your goal right now is to learn enough in order to be able to first, do your work, right? And because at work, they will not ask you all JavaScript questions all at once. You will be given one task at a time. And while you are working on this task, you will also learn something new. And then you will be given your next task and the next one and the next one and so on. And so you will be learning something new, right? So and your tasks at work are not going to be like huge, enormous tasks that you need to solve on your own, right? You will be given like one small piece of UI or one small bug or something, and then you will start working on it. And as you are working, you will also continue learning. It's not like you have learned JavaScript for 7 months, you have learned everything, and now you're ready to work. That's not how it works. Like you need to learn enough in order to come up with like logical solutions, or at least to be able to identify like where the problem is coming from. Yeah. And then while you're working on the task at work, you will continue learning, because this is a journey. So it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, right? So right now your goal is to learn enough, just enough to be able to deal with like the tasks that you will be given at work, and to also pass the interview. That's your main goal. Okay. But of course it can take like 2 years, 3 years to learn. And when you think you have learned everything, something new will come up, or there will be something that you have forgotten. Like, for example, when we are in our classes, like on every class, I'm asking you something because I genuinely do not remember how this works or how this method works, or, whatever. So it's totally fine. Okay. So it's not like something that I don't know, it's just like learning English. You cannot learn everything at once and then never forget it, right? You learn something, some parts, to be able to speak to people. And then as you're practicing your skills, you're also learning. So that's our goal, to give you just enough in 6 months. Okay? Now we have 40 minutes left. So let's solve something else. Yeah. So we were chatting for quite some time. Let's imagine that it was our break time. And now let's go back to the work. Let's see.
When Dawood said that he feels sometimes stupid, like I, not only you have that, I also heard Janar also has, and I also have, so probably others also started coding. They also have the.
Yeah, I have to tell you guys, like, you guys are doing so much better than I was doing when I was in your place. So, I mean, that should tell you something, yeah. If I could do it, you guys can definitely do it. So,
Yeah. I've been doing the much better with the DOM, because it's about memorizing just the code.
So you memorized everything, Dawood? No, are you joking?
For real, like for me, like Dawn, when we're doing with the Azama, the Dawn is much easier for me than like algorithm because it's just memorizing and creating some content on all this stuff. Like for me, it's just. But
Okay,
when
you
we come to the algorithm and start to the numbers, find out some numbers or find out like I don't know, divided by this, I'm starting just struggling. That's it.
For me personally, DOM is like much harder than algorithms.
for
I
me.
start DOM, I could stuck like whole night, whole day. The last time what I did with the homework with the flex, I started at 5:30 p.m. and finished it at 1:30 a.m. I guess. Like 6 hours. Yes. He finished in the 3 hours.
Just give me some buttons, colors, create some. This much better for me.
You see, everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and it will be the same at work. Like in your team, you will have someone who's really good at CSS. And then you will have somebody else who is really good at,
Algorithm.
yeah, like building the logic or, something like that. And then there will be somebody else who is, the best at something else. So it's fine. You guys can also talk to your colleagues when you're stuck on something, and they will be willing to help you because it's a team. So especially in the first few months, like everyone will be super helpful.
But feeling like stupid when you are learning, it's total okay. But when you get the job,
It's also fine. Don't
yeah,
worry.
that's like, that's the real like stress and yeah.
Okay. So, do you want me to keep the sharing or?
Yeah, I don't mind unless maybe Aziza, you want to share for the next
Oh, no,
question.
no, but no, no, no.
Okay.
I have a micro migraine or
Okay, let's see. So I had that question, which I'm not even sure if I should ask.
because when I don't share, I'm able to read the codes and start to understand the logic. Like, so when I write, I cannot get this because nobody cannot wait me 40 minutes just because we don't have the 40 minutes class. I mean, we have to finish, so then I get confused.
Okay, so my next question is, you see how in the classes array, we have a schedule for each class, right? So we know that, for example, we have math class on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, or Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then we have, for example, English class on, where is it? English,
Second one.
Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, so basically each class has their own schedule. So I want to do something about this. So what I want to do is organize, like see on which day which students have classes. So for example, if somebody is taking math, they will be present on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right? If somebody is taking English class, they will be present at school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? So we want an object where a key will be a day of the week and a value will be an array of students who are present at school on that specific day.
Wow.
So
Okay.
actually, you want to know how many students in each day?
Not how many. I want a list of students.
List of
Yes.
the pages. Do we have any information in the students by the days or no? We compare
No.
one.
We
No.
only know the classes that they're taking. Subject name, right? And then
Mm,
the classes array, we have information on which day we have this class.
mhm,
So at the end of the day, we want an object with days of the week.
mhm,
And on that day, we want to know, for example, on Monday, which students are present at school. And then on Tuesday, which students are present at school, etc. Like a whole list of students.
mhm. Yeah, I got it. Oh my God. I'm thinking about how I can compare the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Monday, Friday.
So it will be like this, right? Monday, this much student, list of student, and Tuesday, this much student, right? List.
Yeah. An array of students, not
Yeah.
just.
Okay, okay, okay.
So whenever you guys hear a word list, think of array immediately. When I say a list of students, it means an array of students, not a number.
And you
Okay?
know, Asel, mine would be, I would just write, I would just like do like create an object with Monday, Tuesday,
Mhm.
and on the value put the students and increase them.
Yeah, that if we wanted to get a number of students, that would be the approach. But we want a list of students, right? So we want
Yeah, names also, right?
names, yeah.
My God. What I'm thinking right now about the create the object. The create the object is the key is gonna be right now the class name, and
Okay.
then the value gonna be the students, the array of students, and then somehow to compare that object with another object which is like a object of the Monday, like
Mm.
or
Yeah, that could work potentially.
oh my God. Okay.
What if you create, for example, new object?
Can
The
I
key.
clean this one? Or you guys still need it? I already sent in the chat.
No, I think it's safe to delete it since you shared it.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead, Maxa. You've been saying something.
I was thinking, what if you create the object with the keys days? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So you want to put all days in it?
Yeah, I was thinking like this.
Which
Yeah, you could do that.
student equal one. And then we need the problem is why oh my God, I hate this one. Uh So here we have please stop me right away if I'm doing something wrong, because I'm gonna keep going in a deep water and confused so bad about it. So okay, for each. What was the subject? We need to find out the subject name. Okay.
Asel, we have only classes and students, right?
What do you mean?
The data.
No, we have classes, students, and something
Yep.
else. Teachers. But we don't need teachers for this.
Okay. We need only classes and students.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God. What I'm trying to do. Subject name. Can I use the student name in the second for each?
Yes, of course.
Okay. I already forget, Maxat, how you been doing the, I don't know.
Like object.
Yeah, I want to place the keys I want to place as a keys the class
Okay.
name, and is the value is the name of each student, which is come with the like in this.
And from the first student dot subject
Op-
name.
Open the brackets.
And put just
First
student name.
after subject, yeah,
The subject,
subject.
That
No,
subject name,
equal
just student name.
subject. Oh yeah, just student. Student dot student name.
Just
Student dot name. Student dot name. No, just that name.
okay. And what we have here? Can we?
Console dot log object.
Yeah. The object. Oh my God. Nothing.
yeah,
What?
because the class you should put the student dot not subject, right?
No, wait, though. Is it about the syntax something wrong? What is it? Type
For
error.
it is not a function. Student, yeah, yes, subject you need to put.
Oh, see, we
dot-
cannot find the student here.
Yeah, because you need to put student dot subject name, I think, right, Asel?
No, we cannot reach the student inside we're already inside the here. Or what if we store the subject name inside the, I don't know. Oh my
Well,
God.
it says student for each is not a function, so the issue is there. Student for each is not a
Yeah.
function.
Oh, oh, the student what? Student subject?
Depends on what you want to do.
What? Oh, yeah, what we have here?
Subject dot subject name.
Uh,
Dana White, Heavy Carter.
Why we have only each, like, just give us just one name of name Alex Johnson. Asel,
Yes,
why give us just the one name of each class?
yeah,
How
because
put
you're
the
overwriting the value of the subjects. So subject's value is overwritten every time. You're not actually pushing to any kind of array or something. So it will give you the last name
Mhm.
of the
Mm.
student on each subject because you're overwriting it every time.
So he needs the one array and he needs to push there after.
If you want to store the list of students, then you need to store
Just
it as an array, not as just a simple value.
so what if we have like a array here? Oh my God. Here and then we have just a like array dot push like student. Oh wait, what I'm doing here? Oh, sorry.
Just pushing student name.
Yeah, wait, sorry. Oh my God. Wait, okay.
So
And
it cannot be just any kind of array of any student. It has to be an array of students on a specific subject.
what does it mean of specific subject?
So for example, all students who are attending art class should be
Mm-hmm.
under art key.
Mm-hmm.
All students who are attending English classes, they should be under English key. So
Yeah,
it cannot be just a random array. It
yeah.
has to be an array of
Mhm.
students who are attending a specific class.
Mm-hmm. This is the whole different question now. Is anybody have idea how we can do it?
I mean, you've already done something similar already, so
Do you mean this one?
no, I mean previously, like in our previous
Oh, oh my God. Mm, okay. Okay, students. Students.
First, you need to also for loop the first array.
The for each. Oh wait,
Uh,
let me just student. Like, I got it. What you're saying, the student. Oh wait, what I'm. Oh my God. Now I'm. The in. No.
So the thing here is that array
Mm-hmm.
be a value of each
Yeah.
object's subject name.
Mm-hmm.
So if once we're looping through the subject,
Mm-hmm.
if the object already has that property,
Mm-hmm.
subject name,
Mm-hmm.
so if that subject already exists in
Mhm.
our object, so then we just push, so object subject that subject name that push student that, is it just name?
Yeah, subject name.
Else object subject name
You know, it is, you know, for me, Asel, when you guys give the subject for each subject, I get very confused because subject would be,
Because the subject is totally different the array, so we used it twice for each. We cannot reach the just one for each to the subject. If it's your
Oh.
question, Aziza.
Let's test it. Let's see if we're getting what we want.
Mm. You know what is the new for me here? Is this line. How we put in an object, we can use the push.
yeah, I also have a question because I thought it was on the
How
array.
that happen?
Because if we're seeing this object for the first time, we are assigning its value to empty array.
Mhm.
But I'm still not sure, is this correct, guys? Let's double check.
It's not correct because in art it's gonna be two people.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I don't think we're getting, so I think what we need to do,
The geography is empty.
yeah, I'm thinking that this is wrong because we're not getting all the students, because the logic here is also a bit wrong.
I just don't understand why we are trying to find like this. I mean, like, why do we need to find the subjects and the students inside?
What's
I
that?
want to. Sorry.
So I think Davut wants to organize them by subjects.
Okay.
And then how transform it into days.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm
To compare it with the class days, like this how I think it.
I'm not interfering with the current path of solution.
Just think, I would just like write Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and just and then I'll write another loop and find out who is in the Monday, and if it's equal to Monday, and put that one there.
Yeah, that's
Would
what
be
I.
much more. It would be much more like.
Yeah,
Easy.
but you cannot just insert the days into an object. You need to find out exactly which days have classes, because what if there is a day that doesn't have any classes?
And then like at normal school is from Monday to Friday, right?
Yeah, but you never know. I mean, this currently is about school, but it has to be still dynamic. Like you can't just insert days. Like you shouldn't hard code them. What
Yeah,
if there are-
that some is like I also had I always was like arguing with other developer, and then he said, you know, think that how many think that how many Europe do you have in the world? It's just one Europe, right? Continent. So you don't have the more Europe than one. Like the logic is correct, and then okay, you're right. And
Yeah, but in this case, we still have to make it dynamic because this may not be a complete list of classes. So there may be some days where we don't have the listed classes, or there may be some days where we have some other classes. And for example, this list, let's say maybe it's not a complete list of classes, or maybe on some days they have classes on Saturdays, on some weeks, and on some weeks they don't. So we still have to keep it dynamic.
Let's think then.
like yes, and then it would be just it's just maximum 7 days, Asel. And if it's like there's no classes on the Sunday, they will just show the empty students. And if it's the class, they'll show like one student.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 7 is not big, you know. I mean, 7 is not you don't okay, but still it would be much more easier. I mean,
It would be easier. That's why I'm not letting you do that.
oh my God, Asel.
We could do like this first and then go to another option.
List of students.
No, I mean like what the Aziz are suggesting for us is created the new object with already put the keys like Monday to Sundays.
Yeah, but Asel, I don't want. It's too easy, she say.
Yes, it's too easy. Oh my
I'll
God.
try first of all like this because even like if you have the objects with keys like the days, you need to push inside not the quantity of students, but the name of the students, for example.
Uh,
I wouldn't say it's easy.
Asel,
Yeah.
how we what if we doing the same thing but with the classes? If we put the like create the object, we put the like days as a keys, and then they put the like a value at the like class name.
Yeah, but the problem with your initial approach is that we have classes on multiple days. So for example, one class can be Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
So you're making your job harder actually by doing that.
I don't know. That's how all I can think. Like that's my limit. So
Yeah, my logic says only this and then not the other.
Yeah, you can do the shortcut and say week, right? Up. And then you can do like up, Monday, and then empty array, right, etc.
mhm.
If you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will let you do that, but I still want you to, as a homework, come up with a dynamic way of generating.
I have question, Asel, that you Monday after you put an array, right? And so I wouldn't put an array, just would like, because map will return the array anyway, right?
You
So
need some kind of value for an object.
yeah, I need some, okay.
Yeah, this could be good if we have it like to the homework. so we can do it as a
I
homework.
guess what we can keep it as a homework. So, but if it is a homework, then I'm not letting you do that. So I want you to come up with, first of all, fill in days of the week dynamically,
Mhm.
okay? Then figure out a way to find the students who will have classes on a given day. Right? So
Can
if we are keeping it as a homework, then this part is also dynamic.
okay.
So
Yes?
now we're not gonna solve this problem.
I mean, didn't you say that you want it as a homework?
I say it.
Let's go do it now.
Sure.
Let's finish it.
So do you want to do it dynamically or do you want to hard code it?
Yeah, like can you show us dynamic way?
Sure. Let's see. So we have each class, right? Each class has a schedule. Inside the schedule, we have days of the week, right? Okay.
Oh, oh, that's easy to create the days. Oh, yes.
Class. What should we name it? Like
CLS.
school class? Oh, CLS, CLS, CLS. CLS.
Yes, that kind of name is much. It's very good. Not similar to the first. The
So each class has what?
set schedule.
Vasquez
Oops, where is it? Schedule
dot
days.
dot schedule dot days, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna do for
Class
each
dot
and
schedule
push it.
days
Okay.
for each.
Day.
So
and
now we can just either like push a day into an array.
So we
Mhm.
could say like if dates brackets day are not included, then dates day equals to brackets.
Do you wanna store it in an array or an object?
Object.
Okay, so let's do then not for each. Let's do reduce. Should we do reduce?
We could do the
Wow.
for each.
Reduce.
I'm like
Okay.
create just new object. Let's say like const date first of all in like const days equals to object empty object.
Mhm.
Then they we need here if else condition if
If.
days brackets day. You could put the восклицательный знак if not
Not equal.
yes. Then days day
Then
equals to empty bracket.
empty bracket. Okay.
But it's supposed to be is it okay, it's equal? Yeah. So
Gonna
right.
be a lot of days.
Let's run it.
Oh. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday.
Then we need to sort here.
Sort it. How you gonna sort?
From
Oh,
Monday, it's not gonna be Monday, Tuesday, or it can be, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
That's
Okay.
good.
That's it.
mhm.
Then let's then push it inside the names.
So now we have our days of the week, right?
Mhm.
So now we need to loop through students array. So each student has a subject.
Yes.
Subject, that subject name. Okay, so student that subjects that reach. Okay, now we need to somehow figure out how do we find the subject name, not find, but using this subject name, we need to know
Class name.
on which days we have that subject. Do you see what I mean? So that we know. Oh, I'm really was was that what was it class name? Is the same as is the same as what? Subject that subject name. Okay, so we have our class object now. Let's open this up a little bit, could you?
How?
Or what was, is it Command Shift? How do you force the next line in VS Code?
Enter.
No, I meant how do you force the code to wrap to the next line so we don't have to like keep going back and forth like that?
The
It was
mine is automatical, I don't know.
Command Option something. I forgot. I haven't been using VS
If you
Code.
want, I can zoom it like small.
Just save it. It's gonna do automatic. We have pretty, right?
No.
No.
It's fine, it's fine. So we have our class object. So class object looks like this. Okay, so now we need access to class objects schedule that days, right? So class object that schedule that days. Okay. So that will give us the information on the days that this class is held, right? So so now we need to compare that to the days of the week that we have in our days object. Okay. That map for that for each day. So object that has own property. Oh, what happened? Has own property. Day. Okay, so if it has, then could you cut this for 1 second?
Carry.
Yeah. Paste it. Okay. So if object has own property day, then object day that push student
Name.
something like that. Let's test it. Can't find variable.
It's supposed to be days there, no? Like why we put the object?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Just 5 minutes. It's
Or
not
42.
is
Yes, here. Days and
okay, let's test it. Okay,
Okay.
can you open it up? Okay. So
New set?
yeah, but I'm still not sure if we have the correct students on correct
Some
day.
names have repeated many times, no? Alice Johnson, or they're
I
can you
mean,
open, for example, Monday?
this is
Yeah,
expected.
Monday, second one. I would say it's correct or not. So how many students is Alice, Bob, Charlie, Dana, if you have all 5 of them, right?
Mhm.
So let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we have 5 of them. Can you open the Friday? I would tell the on Friday we have only 2 students, Alice and Dana White.
We have
Yes.
Alice,
Listen,
Bob, Charlie, Dana, and Eve.
you should have only Alice and Dana. 2 names. I just checking there is that.
but
no.
Monday area has also 19 names.
I mean, it's expected because they're gonna be repeating, so
Yeah.
we can control
Okay.
that. But
Yeah, we
let's
have
see. Let's see. So, for example, on Friday we have which classes? We have math on Friday. On Friday we have. Do we have anything else?
that's it.
On
Oh
Friday.
yeah. Or
On Friday. Let's see if we have anything else. Yeah,
Oh.
and we also have geography.
3.
So let's delete Friday from all classes except geography. So geography stays, but this one goes, just to see if yeah,
The
and
first one has just
first one, this one. Oh, that's it. Okay, so which of the students have geography, are taking geography?
Dana has.
Only Dana?
Yeah, Dana I guess.
And that's it. So on it means that on Friday we should only have Dana this time, right? So let's test
Save
it.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah, Dana White.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was good. Ooh.
So now we just need to make sure that we're only getting unique names. So what we can do is we can say if it doesn't include has own property day and days day includes student that name. Yeah.
Save it.
Mhm.
Wow.
That's it.
Asil, why did you delete the Friday from?
Just make sure it's correct.
We're just testing. We wanted to make sure that we are getting the correct names. That's why we deleted Friday from.
Because some students also had that also on Friday.
Yeah, so we just wanted to make sure if our array is reflecting the correct data because we don't have time to check each student, each class, each day. So we made sure that we only had Denavite.
But actually, then if it's the Friday, then we need to, as you said, that we need to check again, right?
No, it's correct. We can see that on Friday we only have Dana White, which is what we're supposed to get.
No, I mean, I understand because that you deleted, that's why you only got the, yeah. But if it's not deleted, I mean, if you did some manipulation there in the data, but in real work, if it's gonna be like this, and so then we need to check again, as you said, more, it requires more time, right? Check if it's, yeah.
Of
I
course.
cannot say to company, can I delete this?
I
You
mean,
can
you
delete
can
it, put it
when
again. You
when
can
you're
come in and put it again, right?
when you're working locally, you can test it. You can copy the data and delete whatever you want and test it for your own purposes because this kind of data is most likely you're getting from an API. So as long as you're not deleting the data from the endpoint, you can just copy the array, delete whatever you want, insert it manually in your function and test it. Yeah.
Yeah. And now we don't have it homework anymore.
Yep, sorry.
Can we have a homework?
I don't have any exercises left, unfortunately.
Oh, I knew it. Now we don't have anything to do after that.
Have you done what Azamat gave you? Like it was also array and stuff.
Yes. Yes, I don't know what to do. Like there's no homeworks. Like
You can create the homework by yourself. We have the bunch of data now. Try to play with that. I don't know. Like
yeah, that's what I'm doing. I just start to asking ChatGPT, give me some more homework.
you can actually send these three data, like students, classes, teachers, and this ChatGPT will create the homework.
Mhm.
Can you explain, please, that how you did this one, like beginning from line 419? Yes.
19. So I found a class object.
Uh, class, find it. What is the classes find? I just
Classes is an array of classes that we have here.
yeah. Data. Okay.
Okay?
I thought it's some
So
kind of
I'm
like
looking at the classes array and I find a specific class in the student subjects.
so you are comparing the class name, for example, like math
Mm-hmm.
with subject name.
Which is also math.
I have
Subject. Okay. Uh-huh. And then
After I find the class object, so for example, this is
yeah, because the find returns to class, right?
it will return a single object, yes, which is
Yes.
a class object. So once I find that, I am getting to the classes scheduled days, which is an array, right?
Oh,
So
uh,
I'm looping through that array. I'm talking about this array,
yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm looping through that array, and I'm comparing each day. So I'm saying, hey, if this day is included into our object, days object, and if this current student's name is not present on that specific day, then you should push it on that specific day's array.
Yeah, because the line for 19, she already found with find function, and then it returns to KLS. And then you are again from the class, your class name, you are already finding the subject name. So she did most thing there.
Mhm.
So that has own property. What if you just use a has?
There is no has in an object. Has is a property of, has is a method of set.
But the logic both are same, right? The has
Yeah.
own property.
Yeah.
Has,
Mm-hmm.
like includes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
I was saying like if our days has day,
Mm-hmm.
then push it.
Mm-hmm.
So the day came from the for each. We needed the for each classes scheduled days. Uh-huh. Okay. I don't know. I couldn't solve it by myself this one.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you could. It would take you some time.
I didn't know about the has-on property.
Really? Because I think we used it in our classes before.
That it means that I didn't remember.
Has own property. It means it actually says that there's Monday, Tuesday. It's the key of this has own property can use this not to values, but for keys, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you could also solve it without has own property. It would just be a bit longer.
Can you send please this code?
Sure. Oh, that would, could you send it, please?
How you guys find out the chat? Why it doesn't show me the chat again?
I will text you something and you will see the chat.
It's also like you need to expand. When you are sharing, you need to you can see the small line. You need to expand this one, and that whole zone will open.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Cool. So, I mean, the logic here is not complex. You just need to manipulate the data a little bit, but the logic here is quite straightforward. There is nothing out of ordinary here.
It's not about the logic, it's about the before like solving any problems, I'm making some strategy, like how I can do it like this.
Mm-hmm.
And difficult is build strategy.
Yeah.
What I'm usually doing is like, for example, we have a task. First of all, I'm trying to understand the question, and then after that, I'm trying to divide to subtasks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
What?
sort of like pseudocode, right?
Yeah, they like the pseudocode. In that time, like I'm making my strategy, then I will just didn't come to this one.
Yeah, that's exactly a good way to approach a problem, especially when you're facing with like a multi-step issue, right?
Asel, I have one question. Why did you use this 410? Like you did for loop with for each, and it is KLS, but you are using that one is 420, 419 is cons. So it means that you can, it means that because the second one that you use in this, the first one you are using the second one because that one only has access from only has access there, right?
First of all, this CLS has nothing to do with this.
With that, right?
Those are completely different objects.
Okay.
So here I'm not using const because this CLS is coming from the parameter.
Yeah, yeah, yes.
And here I'm creating a total new variable from where I'm storing the result of the find function, which is like a completely different variable. So they are not related to each other.
Okay.
By the way, in 419, console.log CLS after 419.
Which 419?
Yes, can you console.log the CLS?
Of course.
I want to see what's inside. Thank you.
Let's run it.
Oh my god.
So we have each of them
For
are
day, for each student's schedule, we find a class. So for example, where is the students? Okay, so we find a class for math. We find a class for English. We find a class for history, for art. And then again for math, science, English, PE, and so on and so forth. For each item inside our subjects array, we find a class object.
okay.
Okay?
Okay. That makes sense. Okay, thank you so much, Asel, for today's
You're
class.
Thank you so much for joining, guys. It was, as always, a pleasure to give you a hard time. That is the motto of of my Saturday classes. But yeah, I hope you guys don't hate me too much. But this is a necessary evil, right? Yeah, because like in real life tasks, you're gonna be dealing with like multiple, sources of data, which you will have to like compare or extract something, or it can be any kind of different situation. So I want you guys to like feel comfortable dealing with those kind of questions as well.
Yep. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you guys, and have a great week, and I will see you next Saturday.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.